Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this video, I'm going to answer the most common question that I have been asked over the last 10 years of doing what I do, and that is, how much can I make selling merchant services? How much can you make selling merchant services? Well, I've answered that question in 2 previous videos, and in both cases, to be really honest, I've never been very happy with my answer to that question because I've always tried to answer it the best way I could by talking about, well, if you're full-time, you could make this, if you're, but it hasn't really been specific. What I decided to do, and kind of this idea that I had for this mini-series, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed shooting it and recording it. And what my idea was, I wanted to answer that question of how much can you make selling merchant services, but I wanted to answer it by actually going through the assumptions that underlie that question so that you could actually get an accurate answer to your question. I also wanted to build an income calculator so that as I'm going through it, you had a little bit more context. So what I'm going to do before we dive into this last episode, and it's not going to take very long, I do want to walk you through one more time the income calculator where we're at, because I know we're doing this every day, and so it's been a day since you looked at this. So here's what you need to do to get caught up to where we're at, okay? First of all, go to a URL. You ready? It's a link. It's instantquotetool.com. Instantquotetool.com. Click on goals, okay? Click on goals. You don't need to sign in. You don't need to sign up or anything. Click on goals. Then we have our income calculator. At the top, we have sales per month year 1. We have that at 12. I'm not going to go into why. Watch the previous videos. Listen to the previous podcast episodes. 12. Next, we have sales per month year 2 is at 7. Sales per month year 3 and on is at 5. Average upfront bonus is at 450. Gross margin is at 70. The residual split is at 50. The annual attrition is at 20. So that's where we're at right now. So if you have all of those in there, then here's the numbers you should come up with. It should show that your monthly income for month 1 is $5,400. Month 2, $5,400. Now, why are those 2 months the same? Because you're making sales, but you haven't gotten any residual. You need to understand that residual is a full 2 months delayed because it's going to take your merchants about a month to start really processing their first full month. Then it's going to take another month before you get paid on that month of processing. So residuals are always about 2 months delayed. So in that 3rd month is when you get your first residual. And if you look at it, you can see it's $5,820. You made $5,400 the previous month from upfront bonuses. Now you're at $5,820. And so you're going to make an extra about $400, a little less. What is that, $370 or something in residual. Next month, $6,240. $6,660, $7,080. So you can see your residuals are growing each month. So by month 6, you're already making $7,000 a month. Your first year, you make $86,400. Now, I want to show you something real quick. Go back up to your average upfront bonus that says $450 and change it to $200. Okay? I want you to notice that your year 1 income just dropped from $86,000 to $50,000. Now, why am I pointing this out? Because one thing that frustrates me is a lot of people that talk about how leasing is evil and it's terrible and nobody should ever do it and all that. The truth is, if you want to really survive your first year in merchant services, you really should take a hard look at leasing and see if you feel comfortable with at least doing leases on cash discounting or maybe selling the point terminal, something you can lease to increase your upfront bonus money. If all you're doing is selling free terminals and you're like, no, I get a profit true up. Yeah, profit true-ups go negative much more than they go positive usually. So, you're probably going to be at around $200, maybe $300 up front, but either way, that's going to dramatically damage your income your first year especially. Now, after the first year, it's not as important, but that's an important thing. Let's go back up and change that back to $450 now. And you can see that as you're typing, it'll just change the numbers down there. So then we look down here at year 2. We can see year 2 is at $96,802. I wanted to show you something real quick. So we're at 96,000. Take your annual attrition from 20 down to 12. And you can see that you just added $5,000 a year to your income. So taking that extra time to send that birthday card to your customers, to send that Christmas greeting, whatever it is, totally worth it, okay? Let's change one more number, gross margin. Let's say you're only going after small mom and pop shops. You look at year 5. Year 5 right now, based on the changes we've made, we're at $137,000 a year in year 5. Let's change our $70 gross margin to 40, which means you're mainly going after smaller businesses, small mom and pop shops. We're now year 5 at $90,000. We just lost almost $50,000 because we're not targeting everybody. We're not comfortable selling the 2-location pizza shop or the larger place. We're only comfortable selling the real small mom and pop shops. We just lost $50,000 a year. Now notice in year 1, you didn't lose very much at all, right? The problem is, the further on you go, your selection of which business types you go after is going to have a major impact. So, how much can you make selling merchant services? Well, if you're an average rep doing the average thing like I showed you with all the industry averages, and you're doing half leases, half upfront, you can make $86,000 your first year, and then it can grow from there to a heavy 6-figure income, peaking out around $140,000, $150,000 by your 5th year in the business. If you're doing more or less than that, how do I answer your question? I don't have to. I built a calculator to answer your question. Just go change the assumptions and see how much money you'd make. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this calculator. It's my gift to you. It's 100% free. You don't have to sign up or sign in. While you're at instantquotetool.com though, please do take a little time to look at our training and to look at our tool. We have been adding probably 1 or 2 training courses every month exclusively to the Instant Quote Tool. And right now we're adding a bunch more and we're building a lot more that we're going to be adding to that. So make sure you check that out. My name is James Shepard. Hope you've enjoyed this mini series as much as I've enjoyed recording it. Have an awesome day.